More now on one of the worst incidents of violence in Libya in many months. On Friday night, 32 people were killed in fighting between militias and protesters. The Libyan government is calling for a ceasefire and is telling armed militia to leave the capital, Tripoli.
It was the biggest show of anger against the militia in months, but the protest began peacefully. Hundreds of people carrying Libyan flags and banners calling on the country's security forces to take on the militias. They marched to the district of Gharghul, headquarters of the powerful Misrata militia, hoping to evict the armed men. But violence erupted when gunmen fired at the demonstrators in what has become Tripoli's bloodiest day since the end of the war in 2011.
Look at this, the blood of Libyans. I say to the General National Congress, you traitors, and to the government, you traitors. Where's the army? Where's the police? Several of the protesters themselves were armed. The Libyan authorities are struggling to contain numerous militias who control many parts of the country. Friday's anti-militia protest came amid increasing calls for the armed groups to be disbanded or join the army, in line with an end-of-year deadline set by the government. Tripoli without arms, the banners read.
For its part, the government is echoing the cries of protesters and calling for militias to disband. Just weeks ago, armed men seized Prime Minister Ali Zaidan and held him for several hours before releasing him. On Friday, he addressed all armed groups.
The departure of militias from Tripoli is a command that is not up for discussion. It is a necessary and urgent demand.
Demonstrations followed calls by imams during weekly Muslim prayers for protests against armed groups who refuse to disarm. Libya's tried to rein in militias by putting them on the government payroll, drafting them to provide security in Tripoli and other cities. But their efforts are mostly in vain. Gunmen often remain loyal to their commanders rather than to the authorities.